This is the Transformers Generations War for Cybertron Trilogy EARTHRISE Deluxe Class Smokescreen. Here's a quick look at the packaging. I picked up this figure from our toys. Let's get him out of packaging. Here is EARTHRISE Smokescreen out of packaging together with his brothers, the Datsun brothers, EARTHRISE Prowl and Bluestreak. Finally, we have all of them complete. They look great together. They share the same mold. Him in particular shares the, I think he was assembled together with this guy. The mold that they used for this guy, they just replaced it with a different chest. Because the transformation is as bad as this one. It's not as smooth as this one. We'll get to that in a little while. But very nice. As you can see, the bumper on the front end of the car on his chest has been modified, which is great. I really love what Hasbro did here. And it just really differentiates him and makes it a more accurate looking Earth mode smokescreen. You will also notice that he's got a brand new head sculpt, which is very similar to what we got with Siege. And it's looking very G1-esque. My only gripe about the figure, not only, I have a couple of gripes. The first one is the weapons. The weapons look great. They're exactly the same weapons that they gave. The gun is the same as Prowl and Bluestreak. The shoulder cannon is the same as Bluestreak. But I wished they could have used a gray plastic. I mean, if they couldn't do it silver, gray would have been a nice substitute, or even white. White plastic should have been great, but giving it blue, it feels unpainted and unfinished. And it's, to me, that's an eyesore and a little bit off-putting for the figure. I wish they could have used white instead of blue, or some other color instead of blue. It's a shame. Also, the blue plastic that they used, I mean, it's by no means not cheap, but it feels cheap. And I reckon had they made it a little bit glossier, like if they had used this type of glossy plastic on Prowl on the blue, that would have fixed it, or applied a wash. Same with the black plastic that they used. It's a little bit lighter than what we got with Bluestreak, maybe even Prowl, and it just gives that overall feel that the plastic is cheap. Even the fists, I mean, look at that. Everything about it, it's not cheap. I know, I can feel it. It's pretty hard and heavy, but the way it looks, the lack of a shine, the lack of a glossy finish just makes it look cheap. And I think they could have improved on that. It's very matte. This one's okay, actually, this one. But these pieces right here, the gun pieces, the head sculpt, could have used that a little bit of that wash. Articulation of the figure is fine. There's no loose pieces here and there. So transformation, very similar to Prowl and Bluestreak. So we'll just go through it very quickly. Fold up the arms. Go ahead and fold the whole chest assembly like this. Pop that out. Okay. Rotate the waist. Fold the heel spurs. Fold these fillers up like that. And then join the legs together. Okay. Oh. Okay, just join them together like that. Fold up the leg assembly. Fold them like this. It's a lot easier to transform the third time around, I think, with this mold, but it still doesn't want to tab in as flush. Maybe not as flush as Prowl. Okay, so fold these up like this. Fold these up. So fold up. And even these forearms, I've given up on them. They still don't tab onto the doors. It's never gonna happen. I think it's a design flaw, and they need to fix that. It just won't tab. And yeah, and that's it. That's Bluestreak in his Datsun alt mode. And look at that, very nice. They changed the bumper. I didn't expect them to do this. I thought they'd just retain Prowl and Bluestreak's bumper, but they did. And I'm actually pretty happy with this one. You can obviously put the weapons just like Bluestreak here. Despite not transforming as flush as I wanted to, the car still rolls very nicely in alt mode. Very, very nice details. I love how they made the blue and the red. It's so reminiscent of G1. So, like I said, great aesthetic, great look and feel and design of the colors. It's just that I wish they could have improved the texture of the plastic by giving it that glossy feel. Maybe giving it a wash. That would have greatly improved the look and feel of this figure in robot mode and car mode, leaps and bounds. And they made that extra glossy finish. And here he is with his Siege counterpart. Same motif, very similar in design. Colors look great. As you can see right here, look at that glossy finish. The colors really look better here. They just make the alt mode and the robot mode pop. And I think they could have remedied this by just mimicking this kind of gloss to it. The colors really pales in comparison to this one. And here he is with EARTHRISE Prowl and Bluestreak. They look great. And so some final thoughts on Smokescreen, EARTHRISE Smokescreen, and the Datsun brothers in general. I love it. It's going to get a 9.5 out of 10. That glossy finish could have improved it. Painting the weapons might have improved my score, but 9.5 out of 10 is pretty good, near perfect score. As you can see, the blue weapons here versus the white weapons that they did on Siege. I don't understand why they couldn't have mirrored that. Same thing with Bluestreak. They could have painted it silver. Aesthetically and in terms of how the colors and paint apps make the figures in alt mode stand out, the Siege figures are definitely superior. But if you're looking for G1 styled, closer to how we saw the Datsun brothers in the old cartoons, the EARTHRISE is the way to go. And I think I've made my decision with this review. I think I'm going to keep the EARTHRISE and pass on the Siege to somebody else, a buddy of mine who's interested in them. So with that, I'd like to thank everybody for joining me in this review. Let me know in the comment section what you think of EARTHRISE Smokescreen and his Datsun brothers, both Siege and EARTHRISE together. Let me know if you're going to keep both versions, you're going to keep one over the other, you're not going to bother with the EARTHRISE, stay with Siege. I'd be very interested to know what you think of these sets of figures from both Siege and EARTHRISE. And as always, hit that notification bell so you never miss out on any of my latest video reviews. If it's your first time here, please subscribe. And if you want to help me do more video reviews, please help me out on Patreon. Check out my Patreon account. The lowest contribution is $3. $3 a month is going to go a long way to helping me do more videos and maybe expanding toy lines to review on my YouTube channel. The Patreon account will mirror what I post on YouTube, but eventually I'll post some exclusive videos on Patreon. And with that, I'd like to thank everybody again, and thanks for watching.